5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. Earth has always been a generous and nurturing planet, providing all its inhabitants with the resources they require to survive, grow, and flourish. From the tiniest organism to the largest mammal, every creature depends on the earth for food, water, air, shelter, and space. The natural world has functioned in a delicate and perfect balance for thousands of years, sustaining countless forms of life in harmony. The sun shines to provide warmth and energy, the rivers flow to nourish plants and animals, the soil gives rise to forests and crops, and the air supports breath and movement. Everything necessary for life has always been present, and nature has never asked for anything in return. This perfect cycle remained unbroken for centuries until human beings, driven not by need but by greed, began to disturb the balance. The difference between need and greed is fundamental. Need is limited and natural, but greed knows no bounds. Every creature on earth, except human beings, takes only what is necessary. A deer eats only until it is full. A bird gathers only as many twigs as needed to build a nest. A lion hunts only to feed itself and its cubs. But human beings, with their ever-increasing desires, have broken away from this natural law. Instead of using the earth's resources responsibly, they have started to exploit them for profit, power, and convenience. Forests are not just cut for shelter or fuel but cleared entirely to make way for industries and cities. Rivers are not just tapped for water but drained and polluted to serve factories. Land is not just cultivated for food but poisoned with chemicals to maximize yield. Air is not just breathed but choked with smoke and fumes in the name of progress. The list of such actions is endless, and the results are alarming. This greed has led to severe consequences, many of which are now visible in the form of environmental crisis. Climate patterns have become unpredictable, leading to floods in one place and droughts in another. Glaciers are melting at an alarming rate, raising sea levels and threatening coastal life. Forests, once full of diverse life, are shrinking, leaving countless species without homes. Animals are vanishing from the face of the earth because their habitats have been destroyed. Soil is becoming barren, and water is turning toxic. Even the air, once pure and refreshing, is now heavy with pollutants that cause illness and suffering. The same earth that once provided everything we needed is now warning us about the consequences of our actions. It is important to realize that the earth was never lacking in anything essential. There was enough fresh water to quench thirst, enough food to satisfy hunger, enough space to live, and enough beauty to admire. The problem began not because of shortage, but because of hoarding. The rich have taken more than they need, leaving the poor to struggle even for their basic rights. Large corporations have exploited land and labor, chasing profits at the cost of the planet. Wasteful lifestyles have become a symbol of success, while simplicity is considered backward. This shift in values has brought us to a point where the future of the earth is uncertain. What was once a planet of abundance now faces scarcity, not because of natural failure, but because of human excess. To change this course, it is necessary to return to a mindset of balance and respect. Every individual must understand that taking more than necessarily comes at a cost. That cost is not always visible immediately, but it builds up silently. A tree that is cut today for furniture may lead to a flood tomorrow. A factory that dumps waste in a river may cause illness in a village far away. The harm done to the earth is not limited to a location or a time. It spreads and multiplies, affecting people and creatures who had no part in causing it. Therefore, responsibility lies not just with governments or institutions, but with every person who walks this earth. By making thoughtful choices, by reducing waste, by conserving water and energy, and by treating nature with care, it is possible to slow down the damage. The teachings of ancient cultures across the world have always emphasized living in harmony with nature. They understood that the earth is not a resource to be looted, but a mother to be honored. They planted trees, saved water, worshipped rivers and animals, and passed on traditions that respected all forms of life. Unfortunately, in the race towards modernization and wealth, those teachings have been forgotten. The modern world, in many ways, has replaced wisdom with greed and patience with hurry. Progress has come at the cost of peace. Development has come at the cost of destruction. It is time to remember that true development is not about building more, but about destroying less. Earth has the power to renew and heal, but only if it is given the chance. Just as a wound heals when it is cleaned and rested, the environment can also recover if we stop causing harm. Forests can grow back, rivers can become clean, and air can become pure again. But this requires a change in attitude and action. It requires shifting from greed to gratitude, from excess to enough, from exploitation to preservation. Instead of taking pride in what we own, we must take pride in what we save. The goal should not be to conquer nature, but to coexist with it. If we wish to leave behind a better world for future generations, we must start by respecting the one we have. We must act not just for ourselves, but for all living beings, for the forests, the rivers, the birds, and the bees, who have no voice but depend on us to protect their home. By living with humility, care, and responsibility, we can once again make the earth a place where life thrives, needs are fulfilled, and harmony is restored. Stop.